All right, so welcome back to the second episode of the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Andy.
So what we should do
Yeah.
is we should introduce each other.
Oh,
So,
like I'm introducing
Yeah,
you?
I'll pretend
Oh,
like
no.
I'm you, and you pretend like you're me, because in the previous episode I did no introductions. So,
Wait, so I'm pretending I'm you?
or you can introduce me.
I don't know, I kind of like pretending that I'm
Mhm.
you.
Wait, do it.
Hi, I'm Andy. I'm...
So
Who
not
sips
even a
his
minute
tea
in
like
and we're-
this?
Hi, I'm Nelson, and I
What?
I recently just got employed, and I am taking computer science. Is that right?
Yeah,
Or you actually
yeah.
take? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, yeah, I
I
should-
didn't actually remember that.
I should complete yours. I like soju, and I work as a project manager at a company. I don't know the name of the company, but it's somewhere here. I should, being Andy, I should know the name of this company, but I don't know the name of the company.
Yes, that's all right. I would have edited it out anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, good start.
Damn. All right. So we met at frisbee.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we did.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you the story of like the experiment that I did that day?
No, actually, I'm kind of curious.
Okay, so I just moved downtown, right? So I was really excited.
Yeah.
And I was into learning social skills with like how to make friends and all that. And frisbee is actually a really good way for you to learn people's names, because it's important to know people's names when you want to pass to them or do anything with them, right? So what I did was I had like a rotating system in my head. Like I would learn like 3 names, and then I would use them on the field, and then once I got those 3 names down, I would add more. And you were one of them. Do you remember this?
I think he did mention it, something about names or something, how you call people out.
Yes.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's a good point. I can't remember anybody's name, so I just don't call people's names out. I just throw it at somebody and hope they catch it.
Yeah. And what happened was I remember this so vividly. What happened was it was my first time at this frisbee event. And I don't it was probably a combination of the name thing and just like the vibe, because I was just really fucking excited. Like I was like, oh, I just moved downtown. I found a frisbee thing. It's free. People are going to show up. And so at the end of the frisbee event, or near the end, I think it was you or someone that said like, hey, Andy, you have a missed call. And I was like, what? And then I looked over, and it wasn't serious, right? It was just like a, hey, get off the game. We want to go eat now. And there was just a row of people just there.
Yeah.
And they were all waiting for me. And I'm like, none of these people I knew. I just used their names, and now they're all waiting for me. Holy shit. And so, yeah,
Feels good.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god, like the whole name thing, because I read How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read like a chapter, and one of them was like on names and stuff, and I was like, oh, this worked. And then that proceeded to never happen again in any of the following meetup events. And I was like, yeah, but I'll take what I can get. So that was wow.
When we were first playing Ultimate Frisbee,
Yeah.
you were kind of odd to me, actually.
Okay, yeah.
You were kind of weird, and I had a bad like feeling from you.
Really?
Yeah, I was kind of
Okay,
like, there's
yeah.
something up with this guy.
Yeah,
That, like, it makes me a little bit uncomfortable.
What was your first impression? Because I wanted to ask you that when we were talking about the, like, why, like, what was that uncomfortableness?
It's hard to explain because like I meet people at Ultimate Frisbee, right?
Yeah.
Generally pretty normal.
Yeah.
You were a little bit off, and
Okay.
my gut instinct was like, there's something off with this guy. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
the way he talks, or the way he, I don't know, is it the way you make eye contact or something? I can't remember what it was.
Wow. Okay.
But
Go on.
I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah,
I was kind
go
of.
for it.
It felt a little bit uncomfortable.
Okay.
But I was looking for friends, right? And I was like, okay, I'll talk with this guy. I'll talk
Okay.
with everybody.
You're like, oh fuck, I gotta talk to this weird.
I gotta make friends somehow,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like, fuck it, I'll talk to this guy.
Yeah,
I mean, you were nice enough, and we would talk back and forth. And over time, that uncomfortable feeling kind of went away, and I realized you got really good at talking all of a sudden, like way more natural. I think the way you spoke before maybe was kind of unnatural to you.
Yeah.
So I felt kind of uncomfortable with how you spoke or how you kind of communicated with people. Because maybe it was almost sort of, the verb I'm getting is invasive.
Okay.
Maybe you're coming on a bit too strong. Like,
Yeah.
there's something I could see this guy breaking at one point.
Breaking.
Yeah,
Wow.
like there was something that you would just start talking about, and I would just have to like sit through it.
Yeah.
Like, but then over time, like you came more like socially like strong, and then you started talking to strangers.
Yeah.
And
I became less weird.
you came less weird. I hope that's not too honest, but I felt
No. I actually really appreciate honest feedback. I've gotten pretty honest feedback from people.
And now I feel like you're like way better at talking to people than I am. Like all of a sudden, I'm the kind of weird, uncomfortable person.
How the turntables.
Yeah, how the turntables. And I'm like, holy crap, this guy's improving at like max speed, like 0 to 100 real quick, and I'm here just like.
Well, everyone improves at their own rate, right?
Yeah.
But if I was to replay that, I think I'm basically gonna psychoanalyze myself in that situation, right?
Sure.
So I think I came into that very, very excited and very, very wanting to, make new friends and apply the things that I've learned. And the invasiveness probably came from a place of excitement, wanting to apply these skills, and also being interested in you because you mentioned content.
Oh, yeah.
So I think those three things together combined with this very like pinpointed, strong, driven energy probably came off as invasive.
Yeah, I did like that connection though. The content part. Like, oh, you make YouTube videos? I make YouTube videos and blah, blah, blah. And then I watched your YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And it also made me feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Oh,
like
really?
the one where you were talking very openly about how you hated life.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, this guy's unstable.
Was this like the one where I was like,
you're like, I'm extremely depressed. I hate everything. and I watched this like right after talking to you, like just kind of a normal conversation. And it's like, wow, this guy.
Was this the video that was like, I'm very lonely? Like I titled it something. Okay. So I actually went back and forth on whether or not I should unlist that video because it was a video that I made, and for a bit of context, in the past I experimented with different methods of communication.
Right.
Because I lived far from people, and so it was difficult for me to just meet up with someone to talk and shit, right?
No, I feel that.
So I was like, oh, why don't I make a video talking about just me and my problems, of course, naturally, and then actually send it to people and get feedback. And I actually found that to be a pretty good way to, because it's more different than a call, because if you're on a call you don't have like the facial expressions and stuff, right? Like I was talking to a friend once, and she was like, oh wow, when you said you were down, I didn't realize you were that down after the video, right? And so I made that video and I posted it more so as an experiment on how I would feel about it being out in the open.
Interesting.
Right?
How did you feel about it?
Very, very, like, I've gone back and forth about unlisting it so many times because I was like, this is a very, very vulnerable thing to post, right? Like, the video title was like, I feel so lonely that it physically hurts.
Yeah,
I think
I
was like
remember
the
that.
video title, right? But I mean, hey, I got you to click on it.
Dude, it was interesting though. I felt like I was like,
I mean, like, what were you expecting when you like a stable person?
No, I wasn't. No, I clicked on it because it was unstable, right? It was like I was interested because it was different, right? It wasn't normal. I think looking at it now and looking at you, right?
Yeah.
It's more like, oh, as a friend I know more, right? It's kind of like I want to help this person, right?
Yeah.
But as someone you know right at the beginning, you back away. Right?
Yes. Because I feel like being vulnerable is not really seen as something that is common, and to some people it might come off as off-putting. Yeah. Right. I think that's also another piece I'll inject into that, like, I feel off about this person vibe.
Like I was sitting next to someone in my class, and they were, I won't say too much of who they are, what the problems were, but it was just someone I had just met, right? And we started talking just about things in general, and then they'd start really going into their problems. Yeah. And that's when I started kind of going into survival mode. Like, I just need to get through this conversation. It's like, and just say yes, no, okay, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, right? And then just get the hell out.
Yeah.
if I knew that person for a longer period of time, it would be more like, oh shoot, I feel so bad. Like, what can I do to help?
Yes.
But when you know, like when it's someone just talking to you, it's almost like it kind of scares you. Like
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's too much to take from a stranger. It's like, what do I do?
Yes.
So.
What?
Yeah.
You wanna?
No, I didn't have much else. I was just rambling.
I something that I've learned is you can't go too deep with people because it scares them off, right?
There's certain people you go really deep with.
Yes.
And then there's some people you just have to keep it surface level. Like I have some people in my family, keep it surface level, right?
Yeah.
You don't talk about those things, taboo. Other people, it's like, yeah, this happened. Like, I'm on antidepressants. I'm suicidal. Right? I mean, I'm not suicidal or on antidepressants, but
what I was gonna say was, I watched this one video that very, very logically put together something that I've been like formulating a theory or some sort of concrete concept around, and I forget the type of therapy that it was from because it was from a certain book or whatever, but the high level of it is you test for receptiveness. And I've learned this with talking to strangers. I've learned this with just like, going deep with conversations where there's like layers, right? There's like the way they kind of lay it out is like there's different levels, right? Of like deepness. And if you go to the first level and then if they are receptive to it, then you move on to the next level.
Yeah,
and it's
engage.
like, yeah, exactly, right? It's like non-risky things, and then it's like slightly risky things, and then there's one of the deeper levels is like you tell them something where if society knew about it, they would view you as like they would reject you, right? Like you'd have it would ruin your reputation, right? Society. Right? And so what you do is you test for receptiveness. And that's something that I have been a lot more aware of because some people either A, don't care, which is fine, or B, don't have the emotional bandwidth or capacity to listen to your shit because they have their own shit.
It's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So that was cool for me to see because I'm like, oh, this experience or this thing that I'm like learning and trying to conceptualize is an actual like someone came up with a full leveling system for it in some type of therapy.
And that's the way to do it. That's the way, like with people anyway. Like if you go into a therapy session, you just immediately go from 0 to 100.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's expected, right?
Yeah. They're like that's what they're expecting from you.
Yeah.
But if you go with a friend or family member, you see how far you can go, and then when they say try to change the conversation or they back away, then that's kind of like your baseline.
Yeah. Because going back to the video thing, I'm actually glad you told me this because that I guess confirms that it was the right choice to unlist it. So eventually, after a bit of back and forth, I got to a point in my life where I was like, you know what, I am okay with this being out there. And like when I got to that point, I was like, okay, I think this like self experiment is done. I can unlist this video because I was thinking from something that I learned in the startup space is you really have to learn how to separate personal from business.
Oh yeah.
And it's very difficult to do that with something like content because the product is yourself.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult, especially in this phase of like experimentation, right? Like if you're experimenting, then what is considered professional and what is considered not? And like, do you draw a line? Do you not? And so from a branding business perspective, it's a stupid idea to have that video out, right? It's like it tarnishes your brand. It like pushes people away because it's viewed as like weird. But from another perspective, it can be viewed as like, oh, this person is vulnerable. This person is real. This person is genuine.
Yeah,
right?
it's different. It generates clicks.
Yeah.
But it makes you feel uncomfortable.
But ultimately, I decided to unlist it because I was like, this is not really relevant to my. Well, I guess it kind of is relevant, but it's not the vibe that I want to create with my like. I don't want to put out content where I'm just like ranting and talking about my problems. I want to put out content that is valuable. That like, if I learn something, I'm like, I want to teach this.
Out like how you're feeling is also valuable too because people can relate to it.
Yes. And I've definitely like looked up like, oh, I'm feeling lonely on YouTube, right? And then like I'm like, don't give me the videos that's like 5 steps to not being lonely. Give me the video of like someone talking about
someone at their worst.
Yeah.
I love when I'm at my worst. I love reading posts and watching videos of other people at their worst. On Reddit or something. I like following or actually there was one time I was feeling really lonely.
Yeah.
And I went on to I think it's r/ like lonely people or something.
Oh, I didn't know it was a
I don't. Yeah, or Forever Alone. It shows that Forever Alone guy.
Yeah.
And I
yeah.
just loved reading it during that time because I was like, wow, these people are so miserable.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
I can relate.
I was like, man, I don't know what it is. Like, is it the relating to it? Because
I think it is. I think there's something human about having a problem or being down, and like, because if you think about like what like tribal time, like I feel like I always go back to this analogy because it's so like there. It's so like it makes a lot of sense. Like tribal times, if you were feeling like shit, you would have, you know, like you're in a tribe, right? You're in like a place,
small group of people, and
that you could talk to, that you feel
community.
comfortable to,
Yeah.
And then they could like empathize and relate. But I feel like in today's society,
Oh my god.
we're so individualistic. We don't have that.
Yeah.
And so having other people who are going through the same shit just makes it like feel better.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like sometimes when I'm having like an off day at work, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the office. And then I go into the office and I'm like, I see all these people and they're like also having like, you know, not the best day at work, but they're just trying to get through it. And I'm like, oh, I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like you really love watching other people suffer.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It feels
it
good.
just makes your suffering less, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it is about that, especially when it's like, for me, when it's way worse than what I'm going through. It's like, my wife died and my cat's dead, and
I got nothing left.
I'm in a complete hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to end it all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my life's pretty good.
Yeah. It's like I think it's the comparative difference, and then also it comes from a place of gratitude, right?
Yeah,
Which
gratitude.
is why everyone's like practice gratitude, because it really, like, there are times when I'm down, I'm like, okay, let's like, you remind myself of like things I'm grateful for, and then it just really shifts your perspective, because instead of coming from a place of like, I don't have this, it's like I do have this.
Yeah.
So it's powerful.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah.
Good tool to have.
Yeah. But it's good to go through bad things as long as you come out the other end okay, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So I the video I enlisted because even though there's value in that, there's value in like providing some sorts of like relatability, it was not the value that I think I could best provide to people. Because I feel like I'm a very like logical person. I feel like I'm a very like learn this, go through it, reflect, and then break it down, and then like how do we not have this happen again? And I feel like that's a lot more of my style in terms of like value or advice. What I find interesting about you is the stuff you post on YouTube now, which is around like music and stuff, seemed pretty different from who you are in person, right? Like your vibe in person is very like fun, energetic, cheerful, but then there's a layer deeper when I look at like your YouTube stuff with like the music and like the stories behind it, right? Like I looked at your album and I was like, oh, there's something here. And so I've always like, would you say you use YouTube as kind of like a creative outlet, or like how does that work in terms of like?
First of all, those
balance?
are very nice things to say. Thank you so much. My ego is like feels good.
Mm-hmm.
But also, how it works, I just feel like making stuff, and I always switch from various things I like, and so maybe my personality kind of stays the same, but whatever I make, I just feel like, oh, I feel like making this one day, or I feel like making that, and then sometimes I don't feel like making anything. So I don't really have much of a deeper meaning to it, other than, hey, I feel like doing this day. I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I think it's just like the music piece, because I'm specifically referencing that because that's what I looked at. Like your other stuff may not, you know, be that deep, but it was just the music stuff. I really like reading the stories behind it.
Oh yeah.
Because you had like I guess like a breakup or something, and then that motivated you to write or create some of the songs that you did in that album.
Well, one of the songs I made recently, the song I made, I think it was 2 months after my breakup. Yeah. And I just made it, you know, stream of consciousness? Yeah. You just write stuff. Yeah. Whatever comes out, comes out. Yeah, whatever comes out. So I just started writing stuff, and I wrote the lyrics for, I can't even remember the name of my own song, but it's the newest one that I have. And I was kind of trying to figure out what the lyrics meant. I wrote it, but I don't know what they mean. And they kind of had a certain vibe to it. So I used ChatGPT, and I'm like, what do these lyrics mean? Yeah. And it kind of like psychoanalyzed it. And it's like, oh, you're frustrated and you're confused and you're feeling like you're sort of lost. And I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. Like I do kind of feel confused, a little frustrated and a little lost. But maybe I'm just kind of like reaffirming that. Yeah. Like, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I thought that was cool to put that in.
I've never heard of that use of ChatGPT before. Yeah,
Right.
It's very interesting. How did you get into making music? Because it sounds like you went from video to music. You know, like.
So actually, when I was young, I used to. Well, I used to play like the violin and the piano, and then now I play the guitar, but also I used to screw around with GarageBand when I was a kid, and then I thought about that recently, and I thought, you know what, that was fun. I enjoyed that because I was trying to think, what do I actually enjoy doing? So I found FL Studio, and I totally paid for it. I totally bought it.
Yeah. 100%, right?
Yeah.
Obtained it. You obtained it.
Yeah. And I thought I'm just gonna screw around and make music because this was in between the time where I graduated, and I didn't know what to do.
Wait, graduated what? College or high school?
University.
University.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I graduated from physics, and I was like, this job search stuff kind of sucks, and I want to do something fun, and I don't know what to do. So I found the software. And I started playing around with it. And I just started making music for fun, like low expectations.
Yeah.
Just whatever happens. And I've been enjoying it ever since.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought about doing collabs with like people who can sing? We tried making a song together. I couldn't sing, so.
No, I mean
I had a blast though. I just couldn't sing. I was like, man, I wish these vocals were better. Okay?
No, it was good.
Can't sing.
Like you gotta do a little bit of audio editing. It should be fine. You know, do the fancy parametric equalizer. Make it like a, I don't know.
Exactly.
I just play around with stuff.
You sent me the updated audio file, and you were like, "This sounds better," and I'm like, "It still sounds like trash."
Oh,
like, my vocals still sound like trash to me. I don't know if it's me being too hypocritical, but I was like, "Man, I appreciate the extra effort. You try to make my voice sound better."
Well, we could always still put it on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta finish the song. It's not done.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
still the chorus, then the bridge, and then a few more verses.
Yeah,
we only did the first verse.
Yeah,
and I also have another song, and it's really dumb. Like the instruments I use are really weird, and I thought I would make a rap song for some reason, just for fun. And I was thinking, one of you guys, we collab, do each section where each person raps about anything they want. Like you have kind of like a sad boy vibes when you sing, so you could rap about being sad.
Oh yeah, no, like see, this goes back to the whole creative outlet thing.
Yeah.
Like I think that I met a person recently, and she reminds me of you in terms of this creative outlet thing. It sounds like you don't really do it consciously, but the vibe, like how I was like, oh, your vibe in person seemed different from your music. That was the same for her, except with dance. Right?
Oh.
Like her vibe was very different dance-wise as she was in person. And so I think creative outlets are important because, I don't know, it allows you to express parts of yourself that you don't normally get to express elsewhere. And I feel like that's with me in music, sad boy vibes, right? Just writing lyrics.
Yeah.
Hint of depressio, hint of, existentialism, meaning of life, it's put a bit of all in there.
You just drop it on top of the song. You're just like sad.
Have you ever seen that meme that's like a girl singing about depression in Japanese, and then like Westerners not knowing it, they're just like Westerners vibe into not knowing what it means.
I love music like that. I actually made a song like that. I don't know if you heard it. It's called "Not at My Best." Yeah.
Wait, is this a song you made?
Yeah, it's a song I made.
Yeah. I remember this. I remember this title.
Yeah, and it's it's so upbeat, but then it's like I must confess I'm not at my best.
Yeah.
I can't remember the lyrics, but like this shit freaking sucks.
Yeah.
And it's like all cheery. And it has like an atamatone solo in it. And I wrote the song because I was feeling kind of down, and my neighbor, I lived next to this old guy, and he was really nice, but he started getting dementia, and he had to go away to a home. Shit. And I seeing that transition, I was like, oh, this really sucks, and life is really cruel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this song.
Did you know the guy though?
Yeah,
you must have known him a little bit.
Yeah. We would talk every once in a while. And he was so nice. Like he'd always, because my family lived in kind of like an old person community area. And being the young kid in this old person community, people kind of stare at you and they're like, oh, look at this young kid. He's up to no good, right? He's going to cause some issues. But this guy would always talk to me because, I don't know, he's just nice. So, and I felt really bad because he had to go away from the place you loved. So
Yeah.
and I was like, man, that sucks. That's awful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a really cheerful song about it. So yeah.
I always found it interesting how, you know how in today's society, mental health is kind of like judged.
Yeah,
if
society,
you put it into a
am I
song.
right?
Society. Goddamn society.
Society.
Yeah. But if you put it into a song, it's okay. It's just like, it's okay. You know, you talk about
I know,
suicide. You talk like, you know
that song WAP. Like if you just speak like that on the street, people are gonna look at you funny. But then like you played in a club, everyone's like, just vibing to it.
Yeah. It's good. Like you talk to, I don't know, like a person you kind of know, not like your close friend, but you know, an acquaintance or something about like your father dying, and they're like, whoa, you know, this is but you put it into a song.
Yeah.
People just like, you know, they're singing the lyrics, like, so it's
Right.
I've always found it. So it's weird in a way, right? It's like if it's okay there.
It's more acceptable.
Yeah.
So like you can kill a bunch of people and then you could sing about it.
Yeah.
And be like,
exactly.
oh, that song was so good.
Yeah. And then they'll like unless you go on an interview and talk about what it actually meant, they'll never know it's true.
Yeah,
you know, they'll be, it could be a metaphor for something. You know.
Exactly.
It could be a metaphor for like all the demons you have to slay. It's like, no, I actually went on and slayed people.
Yeah, I actually killed a man.
Well, this is a I asked this question to someone before, but I'll ask it again here. Do you think that like really good artists who like tap into this stuff in order to be able to write really good songs, if they actually went to therapy or talked about these problems and resolved them, do you think that would take away from their ability to create?
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard that so many times, and I really don't know. Like, I think the thing is, it's difficult to say. Personally, if I'm feeling sad, I'll feel like making a sad song, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest, because
I've
worked on sad songs, and I felt happy, and I've created stuff that I like. So personally, from my experience, whether you're happy or sad, actually you shouldn't try to make. I think the big thing is you shouldn't try to make yourself sad to make a sad song. If you're sad, make a sad song, whatever. But you shouldn't try to make yourself sad. Just don't try to make yourself feel a certain way to make something. I think that's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
But if you feel a certain way and you make something, I think it's more genuine. Yeah. So just if you go to counseling, it's really good. You probably should go to counseling instead of try to keep that feeling to make something good.
Yes.
Because you're more important than the stuff you make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can see that being a kind of like a blocker, you know, because if like let's say you're a really good artist, right?
Okay.
And you do tap into this stuff to create, and there's a lot of pressure from either society or pressure that you put on yourself to make these bangers, right? It's like, if I dissolve this source that I'm pulling from, you know, there's almost this fear of like, will I still be able to create the same way? Right. And I'm like, so I've never been in that situation, so I could be talking out of my ass here, but I feel like you might have more things to pull from if you do dive into that source.
It's from an experience.
Yeah, exactly, right? So like, yeah.
Like I could pull from past relationships and stuff.
Exactly.
Like that, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not affected by it today.
Yeah.
But I could totally pull from it. Like this is how I felt during that. And I feel like, do you do that with your videos at all? Because I notice you do more like talking with people for your videos, and then you start this podcast. But you must have a reason behind starting these videos. So
I've played around with this. I don't think I've like the go outside video, I think was one of the first times I've put together a bunch of clips trying to tell a story and trying to attach some sort of meaning to it that I can pass off in the form of like a message to someone else in my situation. That was like the first time I've done something like that. And it was very fulfilling, and it was very fun to create. Like just taking a bunch of random clips and trying to creatively come up with like, what kind of story can I tell with this? It was really fun.
Yeah.
But in terms of pulling from places for videos, I haven't really done that in the past. past, because in the past my videos were relatively simple. It was like a vlog here and there, or me just like straight up talking about my problems. Like the first couple of videos that I made were just like me trying to quit Valorant because I was fucking
direct.
addicted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, so that's probably something I want to do more of in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see that being a good source of creativity, because I've had moments where I'm like, oh, how can I have this message that I want to tell someone, how can I transform it into a creative, engaging way to talk to people? And it takes time. Like it's not something that's quick, and so that's why I haven't made a bunch of stuff.
You can't put like into ChatGPT and just call it a day.
No, you can't. Yeah, I mean, I hope someone makes an AI thing that's like you just inject a bunch of video clips and then it's just smart enough to like figure it out with like a prompt. And it's like, auto edit this for me.
That would be so great.
It's like, oh, it detects your face, and it's like, oh, this is sad. And then it's like detects another scene, and it's like, oh, this is happy. And it's I can put these two together to create I don't know if we'll ever get there.
I think,
but it's like, it's cool, right?
No,
it's a cool idea.
You know, they've already started making videos based on a prompt you give it. I think I saw it online. You just
really?
Yeah. I think Facebook's doing it or something.
Oh my
like,
God.
Please fact check me on this. But like you put in, say, a teddy bear using the internet, and it'll do a clip of like a teddy bear using the internet. Its hands will be all messed up, of course. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
But they're already doing videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I feel like there'll be something that could auto edit and maybe just do everything for us.
You've heard of like DALL-E, right?
Yeah, DALL-E.
Like,
the art one.
Yeah. It's like the photo one. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I actually used it to I forget if it was that or something else, but I needed a cover for this podcast, right? And I just put in the art is from AI generated art, basically.
I'll be honest, it's a little random. Like it's just some woman with like pieces of her face.
Yeah,
like
I just vibed with it. I was like,
fair. I'll take that.
Yeah, but AI is wild. Have you heard of like the studies? I feel like I've talked about this to you before. The study streaming space on Twitch.
Yeah, you've talked to me about that.
Yeah. So during COVID, I basically use this as motivation to actually do work, right? So for
accountability, right?
Yeah.
People are watching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, there's a I think it's still alive, but I don't know how alive it is because I haven't kept up with it. It's definitely not what it used to be. But during COVID, there's a thing called the study streaming space. We called it like the Studyverse, and basically imagine like a co-working Zoom call essentially, but it was on Twitch. So the idea is you just turn on your camera, you stream, and then you study. And then that's it. And then like during your breaks or whatever, you like talk to people, and then you like type in chat. And the idea was to keep you accountable. And when I first heard about this, I was like, this sounds kind of weird and sounds kind of dumb, right? Like, why would anybody do this? But as I got into the space, I realized how creative it was. Like, people made bots, like Pomodoro timer bots. So the people in chat could be like, Pomo 20, and it would like set a 20-minute timer for them, and they could work for 20 minutes. And then at the end of the 20 minutes, there'd be like a notification sound that goes off so that you know. And then there'd be like lo-fi too. So like sometimes I would like go on a study stream because I don't want to like find my own lo-fi, and then like the streamer would like provide all the lo-fi.
I have a really great idea.
What?
Just have a bot, and it just like the people in chat choose how long you do something for.
Yeah.
So they just kind of they see how long you could struggle for to do something.
Yeah.
Like, hold that plank for 3 minutes.
I mean, that's the equivalent of a subathon.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's what we're getting Twitch culture here. But basically, why I started doing workouts on stream was because it was a way, again, another like experimental thing, but it was a way for me to keep myself accountable to actually work out. Like to actually, because it was during COVID, everybody was at home. Like you don't really have motivation to do shit. So I eventually stopped doing them because I found it, first of all, kind of weird. And second of all, I think the biggest thing with streaming was like value. Like, what value am I providing? Because there were some streams, like there was this one streamer that I followed who did do workouts on stream, which I did take inspiration from. And what I would do is I would do my workouts with him. Like whenever he would he would do a workout on stream, he would have like a video, like a 20-minute workout video or something.
Yeah.
And I would just I would go downstairs with like my laptop and just like play it and then just do so like if that was there for me, I feel like I would have kept on going. But I feel like the people who were watching me weren't really working out. Like, it takes a certain amount of it's like a certain type of person and a certain type of commitment to like actually like, you know, work out with someone when they also. So I just
Right. So they weren't working out with you, but they were doing something else with you when they were working out.
They were just chatting in chat, bro.
Yeah, nothing else.
Yeah, of course. They were just chatting in chat. Yeah.
Doubt.
Yeah.
Lots of doubt.
Yeah.
They're probably doing something else.
Yeah. So that was an interesting. Streaming was an interesting thing that
I love streaming.
I try. You love streaming.
I love streaming. It's fun.
Do you do it more?
I haven't. Do
you have an audience? Do you have a?
That's the thing. When I did it, it was so fun, but I was so loud, right?
Yes.
I yell at the freaking computer.
Yeah.
But people liked it. People really liked my style, and I really liked interacting with people in the chat. He's like, "Do this." I'm like, "Okay, I'll do this. I'll throw the game, whatever."
Yeah.
Screw around.
Yeah.
I was playing the Impossible Quiz. You know that game?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
played that for an hour and 30 minutes on stream.
Yeah.
And I just like kept going. And people were like egging me on. It's like, come on, complete this question. And I played the final countdown. I love playing music in the streams. And I have other friends who stream and I love interacting in their chats. And I just love streaming, but it's not I don't have the time anymore, and I'm too loud when I'm streaming. I don't want to disturb others.
If you ever get your own, I don't know, like living place, like I don't know, like your own house or like, would you pick streaming back up?
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
But living downtown or living anywhere is so expensive right now.
Yeah.
I really want to have my own place someday, but right now, it's not. I mean, it's doable. It's just it's really expensive. You know how they talk about rent, how it should be about 33% of your income.
I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
Well, if I find a place for myself, it would be like, well, of course, way higher. Like I would have no money left over, right?
Yeah.
And I understand you're kind of doing a similar situation. You're living with roommates to
help with that.
Yeah.
Damn. I feel like with your vibe, you'd be pretty good at streaming.
Thank you.
Yeah. I do have I think people start off streaming with a very like they have all this energy, but I feel like sometimes you can become really jaded because like once you actually get into streaming you realize that like it's a grind, like comparisons, because I've gone through this whole thing, right? The grind, the comparisons with other people, the how do you deal with toxic people who just come in, like it's the parasocial relationships, like there's so much that comes with streaming that I feel like if you're not equipped with like tools and your proper tools in your arsenal, it can really wear you down.
Right. Yeah. I haven't done it long enough, I guess, to come across all those problems.
Yeah.
But
hey, if you ever get into it and you want a video, just let me know. Because I actually did that for a streamer once. Like I liked her energy so much that I made like a montage, because there's just like really cool montage.
Oh, like a highlight clips.
Have you heard of the song like the AJR song? That's like I forget what it's called, but there's like I forget what it's called, but you beat match it to the music, basically.
Beat Saber?
No, like you
Wait,
cut.
sorry, what?
You cut. you cut the shots. You cut the headshots.
Oh, it's a
to
type
the beat
of editing. Yeah, I've seen that type of editing.
Yeah.
It's
and
like bam, 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 bam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I did that for the streamer, and she I guess she liked it. Yeah.
Simp.
Eh.
No, I'm kidding.
Actually, I would say I did it because I wanted to do the editing thing, right? That was good.
Editing's fun. I love editing.
I really liked her energy. Like I don't think she promotes herself enough.
Is she a small streamer?
She is.
Oh,
very small streamer.
Do you know her personally, or is it more?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
But she has this like super hyperactive. Like you know how like some people are just like super hyper all the time.
Yeah.
Like that type of energy, and I'm like this. I can see this popping off. Let me like give you a YouTube video to kind of help with that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about this, but what happened was she took the YouTube video and she didn't use it entirely, but she took parts of the Like,
that's such an insult.
I know.
It's
I know. I'm like,
an Italian man giving you your pasta. He's made it perfect, and then you put freaking salt and pepper on it.
Yeah, I was like, I gave you this video that I spent so much time on, and you took the video. By the way, if you're ever watching this, let me know what actually happened. I feel like I'm putting down. I'm just laying down all my takes.
This is why we disrespect people equally. Females, males, we disrespect them.
Yeah,
all.
we equally disrespect everyone.
Yeah, everyone should be disrespected equally.
Yeah, but like what happened was, so she used the same song that I edited to.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was her that did this or in collaboration with someone else. I'd imagine it was in collaboration with someone else because I think she knows video editing.
Yeah.
But she took the same.
Yeah, she clearly doesn't know video editing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because she would know this is super fucking disrespectful.
Yeah, it's really disrespectful.
So she took the video I had. She basically made her own video with her own clips.
Yeah.
But during the parts of the videos where it was very hard to beat match to, she took my beat matching and used my segment of that clip. And I was thinking about this, and I'm like, listen, I could be mad about this, or I could just like, and I'm like, I'm really trying to embrace this mindset of like, give without any expectation of return, right? It's like, so I made it, I gave it to her, and I was like, you know what? I don't expect anything back. Like, I don't expect you to use it. I don't expect you to like, I mean, a credit would be nice at least, right? But it was more, again, this is like an experimental thing,
you
right?
tell yourself these things, and then you feel differently. You're like, hey man,
so
here's this thing, right?
I'm contradicting myself.
Yeah, guys, here. It's funny because even when I did a bit of therapy, I would say things, right? But then he would say, "Do you actually mean this?" I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, I totally do." I'm like, "Yeah, I totally work a job, any kind of job for like this sort of value." And he's like, "Would you shovel shit? Would you work as a nurse?" I'm like, "You know what? I wouldn't work as a nurse. I wouldn't shovel shit." Same situation for yourself. Yeah. You're like, you're telling yourself, yeah, I know, it's okay. I'm giving without expectations. I don't expect anything back. And then when that happens to you and you feel it differently, you're like, I lied to myself. It's not true. I expected something back.
I would say it's somewhat complicated because I'm like, I don't know this person IRL, but I feel like I just want to know what happened. I just want to know like what her intent was, because I can assume this negative intent of like, oh, she used this without my consent and put her own clips in because she wanted to call it hers, right? That's a very negative perspective. Or the more positive perspective is, oh, she liked my video enough to use parts of it and she wanted to add these clips which had more sentimental value to her, right? So those are two very different. I just want to know what happened.
The positive side is a very healthy way to look at it.
Yeah. I just want to know what happened, man. Yes, I'm a little frustrated that she just took parts of my video and like she didn't even tell me anything, right? She's like,
I can't believe this.
Yeah.
What
we should try to cancel.
Yeah, we got to cancel the streamer. What's her name?
I'm purposely not guys,
rise up. We're mob mentality. We need to get all your subscribers again. What,
exactly. This podcast is gonna pop off.
We need to rate her stream.
The internet people are gonna do their thing. They're gonna be like, it's this person.
Internet, do your thing. We need to get justice for Andy. Can we get a... Oh, is battery low?
Yeah, my battery's dying.
Oh, you got 10%?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, anyway, justice for Andy.
Yeah.
Justice for Andy.
Yes.
Andy, you need to... That video, it needs to have... You need your credit.
Yes. Yeah. I now know what it feels like to have your art stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less.
I wish someone would steal my art. Like,
I can steal your art.
Oh.
Problem solved.
Dude, my art's so shit. No one steals it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the music, I'd probably use, if you really want to, I could use your songs in my videos and then just not credit you. No, I'm joking. I'd probably credit you.
I would be honored and also really pissed off. Yeah. Actually, no, I wouldn't be that pissed off. I mean, we're having this conversation right now.
Yeah, exactly.
If you did that, I'm okay with it.
Yes.
If the video got really popular.
Yes.
I don't know how I'd feel.
I think either way, I would just like put you in the description. Just be like, this song is from this. Or if it does get really popular and someone does ask about the music, then I'd be like, oh, it's this guy right here.
Right.
Because YouTube has tags now, so I could just tag you.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's the thing. When I'm making songs, I'm not looking to get famous. I'm just looking to put my garbage out there for people. Like, I like this stuff I make.
I'll see.
And if it gets famous, then that's just a consequence of whatever the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
So if you happen to put in a video and it gets popular, this is me telling myself that I don't expect anything in return, right? But it could be the same situation as you, right?
It could. Okay.
I could be lying to myself.
Communication, right? This is, ladies and gentlemen, communication is important. That's why you tell me, okay? Yeah, and I'd probably ask you, like, regardless. I'd probably like.
Oh yeah, I
probably
believe
hi.
you would ask me. Yeah, right, Andy. You
of
would,
course.
You would tell
100%.
me. Yeah,
100%.
no lie.
No cap. No cap.
No cap.
Okay. All right. I mean, since we're on the topic of music, do you want to like plug your shit or anything before we end? Because my battery's dying.
How about no? I won't plug anything.
Oh, you won't plug? Oh, you'll make a mystery. Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to find it yourself if you feel like it.
Yeah.
I don't. Also, I don't know how to spell my own name.
Okay. That's completely fine. Sometimes I forget what my birth date is, so
Do you actually forget your own birthday?
Yeah. Sometimes people are like, how old are you? And I have to like do math.
Oh yeah, no, I do that too.
Yeah.
But your birth date, like
no, not the date. Just like how old I am. Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, am I 24? Am I 25? I thought I was 18.
Yeah, but I'm like 27, right?
Are you 27?
It's a running joke. I just tell
people.
Yeah, no.
Yes, you're 24, right?
I'm 27.
No, you're not. No, you're lying.
I'm 27.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Definitely 27.
No, you're not 27.
Okay, that's the end. All right, that's the end of this podcast.
Is he 27? Find out in the next one.
I mean, we'll let the internet people do their thing.
Yeah, do your thing.
That's the end of this podcast. Thank you, Nelson, for coming on.
Thank you for having me so much.
Yeah, episode 2. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do all the things. Follow on I don't know. Okay, it's over. All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.